Good evening, and welcome to another episode of A Contagious Smile Unstoppable. I have my amazing, incredibly wonderful husband.
Howdy, y'all.
Yay, he's back. Yay. What's shaking, bacon?
You just call me a fat pig.
No, I did not call. Why do you have to be so metaphorical?
You call me bacon.
It just rhymes. Seriously, talk about all the really amazing things we've got going on.
This is your show, honey.
No, don't call me honey. He used to call all of his bimbos honey.
Easy, greasy.
Oh, now I'm greasy? Like greasy? Is that what you're trying to say now? Huh? How's that foot taste in your mouth?
Give me the microphone. Y'all know I love her to death. So, we really want to hear more from our listeners out there. And when I say listeners, I'm specifically referring to the survivors, the folks who are currently going through situations that I can't even fathom, because I'm just I just can't imagine what some of y'all are going through in your relationships with your significant other, family members, or spouse. After years being with my wife, I still have just an inkling of what she went through.
Because I still don't become 100% forthcoming in giving you specifics of certain events, because what's it going to do? How would it help? I mean, talking about it,
better understand.
Talking about it is so critically important, and it is so imperative that people do talk about it. But there is, certain things that are easier to talk about than others. Like I've said a million times, and I feel like a broken record when I say this, like the people I've had the pleasure of getting to know, unfortunately, under these horrific circumstances, is the fact that they've had to go through this. And I tell everybody, it's not a competition. It's not, well, he only hit me once, he won't do it again. Or he only hit me a couple of times, and you've had over 100 surgeries to correct what he went through. No. It's not a competition. One hit, one kick, one punch is one too many. And it's not acceptable behavior. And it needs to stop. And we need to stop the cycle from going on to the next generation. And it can be done. We've done it, both of us. I can successfully say that Faith has never had any type of abuse, never violent, never verbal, physical, anything of that nature. I watch every word I say to her before I say it, because I don't want her to spend her adulthood recovering from her childhood. And I'm still doing that. And it's tough. And, there are times that my husband, who we all know I love more than everything in this planet, will say, why can't you let the past go and move on? Well, that makes it a little more challenging, because he, thank God, doesn't understand all that I did go through, but he does know more than he thinks, because he has seen firsthand, like, my growing up environment without my grandparents. And there are things that, if I mention my biological family, he just is like, why don't you let them go? Why don't you, forget about them? And the problem is that if I was cold and callous like that, I wouldn't be different than them. And that is the thing. That's the problem. Like, I can't say that there aren't times that I've wanted to reach out to my brother. And I know we have absolutely no relationship. And it's based upon the fact that we have been separated due to the wording of my biological parents brainwashing him and myself, pinning each other away from one another. So he only gets one side of the story. I only get one side of the story. But I know for a fact that he does not know that I protected him in many, many occasions, and that I know that they lied to him. I've watched it, and he doesn't know. And, like, for instance, when I confronted my mom with all of this evidence of the wrongdoings of my biological father, I had plenty of proof of stuff that I know, if I had shown my brother, would have just destroyed him in his own way. And I never did that. And I told my mother that what I was coming to her with was not for malice. It was not to hurt her. It was for her to have an understanding of what was going on that she didn't know about. But, and I explained to her that if I was trying to be malice and hurtful and hateful, I would have let him see these things. And I didn't, because I didn't want to hurt him. And if he wanted to continue to hate me for whatever reason that he's been told to, but I honestly, as long as he's with someone who doesn't put their hands on him in an inappropriate way, you know, but my heart hurts for him. It has a lot. And I know that you give me crap about it. And I know that, but it's hard when somebody doesn't understand the full picture. And you always say my biggest attribute is my heart. I feel very bad for him. And, you know, I know he would say, don't feel bad for me, but it's because he doesn't know these things. And I see what can happen and what will happen to him. And that's heartbreaking. Go ahead and say whatever it is you're saying, because it's written all over your face. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're getting back to the listeners here, and you go off on
A tangent.
your thing, and then you end up way in the left field,
Oh.
and you're pinpointing specifically on your brother. I don't have any degrees, any psychology certifications, nothing, but I think we got a little issue there.
And what do you think the issue is?
I just told you I'm not a doctor.
That, oh, you think I have an issue with it? I know I do, because part of me wants to tell him for his own sense of being, but I don't want to hurt him, so I don't. But when you've been the black sheep and he's the golden child, he doesn't know any different. He's never been given the chance to know different. And that's what I'm saying. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear from our listeners. We want to hear their stories of strength and inspiration so that other people may tune in and hear these things, and maybe they'll get a wake-up call, if you will, and we can try to bring some harmony back into people's lives, which we all need so desperately.
Yeah, so what my wife and I spoke about is we want you to write us, email us. You can even send us an audio, and we'll listen to it. And you know, if we have to shorten it, we will. But you know, we want to keep it as authentic as possible. We don't want to change your wording or anything, but we want to get your story out there of what it took for you to get to where you are today, what obstacles you had to overcome, what darkness you had to crawl through, you know, with or without anyone's help. Maybe my wife was there to help you out. I've read multiple reviews where, you know, her story has been an inspiration to them, and her book has reportedly saved their lives, so to speak. So write us, email us, contact us. If you want to come on the show and talk, we'll listen to you. We want to get your story out there, but I want to start generating a lot more followers that have been through these horrific relationships, incidents.
It's not a relationship.
Well, at the beginning, it might have been. And you know, just be that light to someone that's behind you. Be that inspiration to someone who is still down in the gutter, or you know, maybe you need help. Maybe there's someone out there, one of our listeners is going through the exact same thing you're going through. Let them be a guide for you. Continue listening. You know, share this with a friend.
Know you're not alone, and that we have support for you.
Y'all, there are 40 million followers now here throughout a Contagious Smile. So
across all platforms.
Yes. So there's a need, y'all. And you know, we're just two people here. Y'all have a great big voice out there. My wife's got a great big heart, and I've got great big feet. So
what's the big foot have to do with it, except you
know.
put it in your mouth a lot?
I don't know.
We're going to start doing lives on TikTok. And what's really awesome about it is that we also want to share your story, and we will protect your identity. As any of y'all know from listening, we're going to protect your geographic location. We'll change your name if you want, but we want to tell your stories and bring it to life for others, because you could have one tidbit of information that could be life-saving for someone else, and they could have the same for you. And we're going to start doing things like that. We're going to start doing giveaways for people who bring in their stories. We've set up a new email. As all of you know, my service dog Stucco, who is named after my husband, rightfully so, Stucco has his own email, and it's called Puppy Tales. So it's Puppy Tales, Tales. Get it, like the tail of a puppy, at acontagioussmile.com. And you can write to us and tell us your story. Also, if you are one of our amazing special needs moms or one of our amazing kiddos that's got special needs going on and you want to write Stucco, you can. And then Stucco can write you back. And we also have some really cool things coming up where we're going to be giving away some cool stuff of Stucco's, and he could send you a cool paw print card and things of that nature. So we're taking it to another level, but just as we couldn't have gotten here without you, we're not going to be able to get through the next step without you. So we want to help inspire everybody out there and help them with their inner light. And we want to go and get this taken care of. It is PUPPYTALES at acontagioussmile.com. My husband's trying to quietly correct me by writing it down.
Well, you said puppy tails as if
like a dog has a tail, but it's tails because it's a story. We're hearing and
So
giving
it's a
out other
play on
people's
words.
story. Yes, I'm impressed. That's very impressive.
With the way you spell?
No, with the fact that you got that it was a play on words, because it's all about our puppies, which we just had another 8 of the other day. And then we have the tales where we want people to tell their story. So that's why it's TALES. So tell us your story, tell us anything you want to write. You know, if your kids want a hi from Stucco, we can make that happen too. He's just the sweetest baby. And we have some really cool pictures of him actually trying to talk on the mic. And so my sweet, amazing husband spent 10 hours 2 weeks ago
Giving birth. You can say it.
blowing the fan on Ariel, where Faith actually took a picture of him in the doghouse, which was hysterical, and helped, bless his heart, for 10 hours. I went out there and brought him tea and checked on him, and he had a fan out there. He came in looking like he just got out of the shower. And so we have so many cute, it's just, they're so sweet and they're so snuggly and cuddly and adorable. And you know, my husband can't say anything because when we first got Stucco, I knew right off the bat that was going to be mine, like no question. And then he's like, that dog's not sleeping in our bed. And the first night you're like, Stucco, come on, boy. And there he went. And that was the end of that one. Now Rusty is getting the same treatment, also started by my husband. So my husband's a little bit of a hypocrite in that area.
Negative.
No, it's not negative. It's absolutely not negative. Now, I want to talk about one thing that I saw in the news today and see what you think, and we could talk about this because I want to be able to help our listeners provide safety and other tips to help keep everybody, you know, safe and able to go home. We saw that locally there was a Sweet 16 party, and a intoxicated individual, if you will, came up to the party, and it was at a home, and started being aggressive to the women, or girls, sorry, at 16, the young ladies, and he even had a gun. And as you know, there are so many shootings going on now that it's crazy. So you have people having a Sweet 16 party for their daughter, and somebody just comes onto your property and is being aggressive and is carrying a weapon. I mean, what can we do to help keep our kiddos safe? Because, you know, the story that we talked about before where the FedEx guy came up and hurt a child, or you have everywhere you're hearing these stories. How can we keep our children safer? What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are, you know, little odd, but you know, number one, as I'm in the dog breeding business, get a dog. And you say, well, what the heck is that going to do? Well, I used to be a police officer and I did a numerous amount of burglaries. Okay. And very, very few home invasions, but burglaries were uh more the lazy man's crime. Okay. They would case someone's house and then go into it when the homeowner was at work. But only one house out of the 6.5 years of being a cop did I go to where the burglar actually went inside and they had a dog inside. Now, granted, the dog was very, very small, probably a Chihuahua or something, but that was the only case. And I always found that fascinating. Criminals are lazy, they don't want attentions brought to them. So
Going into a home with a big party of girls that are 16, that's not trying to draw attention. That's,
well, I don't know. Was this some stranger?
yeah.
So he forced entry into the front door. I didn't read this story.
They just said that he got onto the property where they were having a sweet 16 party and started harassing the girls, and he had a gun on him. And it was, the details were still coming because it was happening when I was reading about it earlier.
Okay, yeah, I have no comment on that yet. I just don't know.
But even with the homes that have the doorbells with videos on it, I mean, there's still people breaking into cars. There's still people, vandalizing. It's how do you keep? We used to grow up in a time where people left their doors unlocked and, everybody was friendly with one another. What happened? Where is all that gone? It's not even there anymore. And as parents, it's our responsibility for the safety of our kids. How do we give them that?
If you're asking me, I'd start training my daughter to use various weapons. That's me.
But our daughter is very well versed in taking care of herself physically. And I mean, she's even taken you down. And so she has been,
most men have a soft spot.
but she didn't do it there to get you to go down. But I've trained her and I want to keep training her in martial arts. It's just a little more challenging one-handed now, but doesn't mean it can't be done. I mean, it still can be done. You just have to think about these kids and the laziness of some of the parents that are so worried about judgment from others that they're not trying to protect their own. Oh, Stucco's trying to say hi to everybody. Baby boy. You hear him wagging his tail. See, tail. Yeah, he loves the microphone. He loves the attention. This is mommy's beautiful, red-headed,
So once again,
golden.
please write to us at puppytails.com.
No. Puppytails at a contagiousmile.com.
Yes. Here's the mic back. Say it again.
Puppytails, PUPPYTALES at a contagiousmile.com. And Stucco can talk and write back to all the kiddos that might want to hear from Stucco, because that's Stucco's email. So you can write to Stucco, have the kiddos write to him too, because he's pretty freaking adorable and sweet. Not that he doesn't know it. And my husband says he's spoiled. I say he's not. I say he's perfectly pampered. But my husband's shaking his head in total disagreement right now. I'm not spoiled.
Was that the one point you wanted to talk about?
You're just not, you know what? This heat in the 90s is driving you to be very right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. You got anything else?
No.
What? How about a tip of the week? Give them a tip of the week, something to help with something.
Tip of the week.
I know this is about to be a smart ass comment.
No. Y'all use your apps for your free cash back on your gas. Whatever app you use, do it. I cashed in mine here not too long ago, and it was well over $550 something dollars. So if you drive a lot like I do,
Driving me crazy.
yes.
I also want to say I would love to hear from some amputees. As a recent amp
I haven't
myself,
heard from any, and I've been checking my email.
you're not an amputee.
Yes, but I'm on the support.
True. But being that I am a relatively new, not even, I'm almost at my 1 year, which is so shocking to me that it's been a year. I'm still trying to learn how to do things. And my husband is like dumbfounded when I do things. Like I can tie my shoe, which to me was so big. And I felt like a 5-year-old little kid. I'm like, I tied my shoe. Look, 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 look. And I know it's not a big deal for a lot of
Do you
people.
tie your shoe single bow?
I double knot it.
You double. Okay. Y'all got that right. One handed.
Yeah, you've seen me do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like certain things you can't do. I'm learning how to do them. You have to do them differently. And it's, you think about it. And, I tell people, don't take a minute for granted, because a year ago today, I had both my hands, I had both my arms, and I had no clue that I was going to become an amputee as fast as I did. And I haven't done one class of physical therapy. I haven't done.
Not that she's saying you shouldn't.
No, you should, but I can't. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of stuff back from that. But I also never took any pain medication. He already knows all this. I'm very straightforward with my doctor. My doctor's phenomenal. And he knows this. I've never taken a single pain med, as you can verify, for any of my surgeries, because I have to be ready to go at any moment. And I can't be under the influence. And I don't, just even coming out of post-op, I don't like the feeling that I have when I'm in post-op in recovery. I don't like it. So I don't even want it. Even going into surgery, I don't want Versed or anything. I don't like it. But I would love to get some more amputees to come on, especially people who've lost an arm, because that is basically not the norm. I know that a lot of people that become an amputee are legs, but there's not a lot of arm amputees. And I would love to hear some, how do you do it, and stories as well, and spotlight them, because I'll tell you what, and I can say this is my opinion, this is how I feel. I would rather lose both my legs and keep both my arms. I'd rather have lost both my legs, because not having an arm is no, and people, you couldn't do it for a full 24 hours. And I found a way you can make your spouse, if you are an arm amputee, I found a way for my husband to kind of feel what it felt like. I took an ace bandage and I wrapped it around his hand. I made him, well, I didn't make him, I asked him to make a fist. And then once he made a fist, I wrapped the ace bandage as tight as I could around that arm. And he was tied up in the fist underneath the bandage. And after a couple of minutes, he started to feel that pulsating and numbing. And yeah. So thanks, babe. My husband just broke my fingernail clippers.
You're welcome. Continue with your story.
Anyway, thank you so much. But he couldn't stand it. He needed to get out of it.
I tell you what, fellas, it was extremely frustrating. Trying to take off my britches, excuse my language, but trying to take off my britches, take a shower.
Try washing your hair as long as mine is. Brushing my hair.
Yeah, we went to Longhorns that night. I tried to open some jar or something at the house.
Yeah, he wore this thing and tried to see what it was like. And the only thing he didn't do is he took it off before he showered. And he looked at me and says, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, but that was at 12:30 at night.
Yeah, but I wanted you to have the whole experience where you tried to see what it's like to go in a shower and be limited like that and try to shave. I mean, think about trying to shave.
Couldn't wash my armpit.
Well, sorry for the grotesqueness of this, everybody, but I keep both my underarms completely shaved, and I do it myself. And it's like, I wanted him to experience.
Not that I don't offer to help.
I was going to say that, but not that it's an experience, but I wanted him to see what it's like. I mean, try shaving both of your legs, try taking a bath, try washing your hair, try brushing your hair. Um, even opening jars is the biggest pain. And it's sometimes it's so frustrating and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. But my husband offers all the time. But ironically, he offers more when it's time for me to get undressed and go get in the shower. That's really when you want to be the most supportive and helpful. We'll keep it clean though. No pun intended. But I wanted to say this, and I'm going to say this, and if it embarrasses my husband, sorry, not sorry. But I went through hell, safe to say, and I never thought I would be okay enough to look people in the eyes again and get back to who I used to be. And I've known from way back, early 2000, that this was my soulmate and the love of my life. And I knew that. And even after going through so much tragedy and trauma, you can love again and you can love greatly and feel amazing. And I'm not speaking on his behalf, I'm speaking on mine. And he went through his own form of abuse with his ex. But I think our love is greater now than it was back then in its own different way. And we don't sleep well unless we're sleeping together and touching one another and holding one another. And I call it giving me my chair, because he snuggles up to me and he holds me and I feel safe and I feel secure and I feel protected and I feel loved. And it's amazing because when he's doing that, I don't think about the other things. I think about, this is my happy place. This is my safe place. And this is where I'm loved and I'm unconditionally loved. And for that, I thank you, because it really does make a difference. And people can go from this trauma and toxicity to a great love of their life. What do you keep looking at behind me?
It's lightning.
Because I'm like, why are you looking at I'm trying to be sweet and loving. And my husband keeps looking up and behind me. And I'm like, really? What is that? What are you doing?
Protect you.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is I want people to realize, because there is a time, and I'm sure you were there too, where you're at your lowest and you're thinking, is this really my life? Is this what I'm going to be stuck with for the rest of my life?
And when you accept that, it's so droll every single day. And you like, you know exactly what you're coming home to, what you're leaving, and the excitement of the euphoria of like, yes, I get to go to work. Yes,
Monday used to be my favorite day of the week.
So yes, I do understand. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not upset.
But it is a complete 180, right? From where you were to now. And I don't want to put right, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm saying, like, from a man's point of view, or my point of view as a woman, is you feel like you're at ground zero. There's no, this is it.
And this is just you and I talking, and this is why we want to hear from y'all. Please, y'all write us, give us your story, give us a chance to share your story.
Highlight you.
Right. I don't understand a lot of the situation that you're in. So I don't understand the mentality. And I understand, I think I understand that you don't think enough about you or the story.
They're worried about their safety. And that's why we will not put your face on, and we will not use your real name, and we won't say where you are geographically. I promise you, you are protected in every sense of the word. And even after we record, if you come back and say, you know what, Victoria, you know what, Michael, I'm just not comfortable, we won't ever post it. We will delete the podcast, but talking about it also.
We've done it before with other men.
Yes. And you know what? Even just talking about it with other people who can empathize and go through it absolutely makes it a better deal. And everybody needs to go and talk to somebody professional. And not only can I empathize, I could also sympathize. And I've walked these shoes, as my husband has as well, but I've also gone to school for this now as well. So I try not to bring in the school part of it, because I would rather literally, I just got a news break that a Florida bound American airline plane dropped 15,000 feet in 3 minutes. That just happened. Okay. That's a little scary.
But you'd rather have a conversation with a friend or someone that you can relate to.
I would rather have a conversation with someone who understands it.
Right, with from a doctor's perspective.
Right. Absolutely. Because some of them, God bless them, haven't gone through it. And so they can listen all day long. They can give you clinical advice. They can give you textbook advice, but they can't give you street advice. Like they can't give, and what I mean by street advice is real life experience. They can't tell you. And that doesn't mean you don't need to go and talk to them, because I've been on a counselor's couch for 90% of my life. And it does make a difference. But you also can find that great love of your life. You also can have a home, not a house. You can have a relationship, not someone dominating you, not controlling you, not belittling you. And you can bring back that self-esteem. You can bring back your self-worth. And if I can do it, you can do it. We're all in this together.
So reach out to us again. What's the email?
Btails at acontagioussmile.com.
Tales, TALES.
LES. See, who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Dun dun. And you know what? I want to thank my husband, because he absolutely hates podcasting, but everybody loves hearing from you. And don't say no, because I will bring out the guns and show you, because when you've done other shows, everybody loves having you on as a guest. I'll bring Sarah on. I'll bring Dave on.
Sarah's awesome.
Sarah's amazing. And I have to say, I'm very honored, because Sarah has asked me to write for part of these children's book series that she's doing. And I will be contributing to that book series as well. And then Dave is amazing. Dave Campbell, and he has 7 different podcasts you should check out as well. So there's so many great podcasts, so many great American and Canadian and European, and there's just a variety of great podcasts to listen to. And if you want to look at some of the merchandise we have now, you can look at T as in TEE public.com and put in a Contagious Smile and see some of the really cool stuff. Stucco has his own line now. It's kind of cool, isn't it? So I guess we have another one for the books now, huh? Yes. I like partnering on this with you.
Better. You're stuck with me for life.
Oh. All right, take us out.
No, that's all you.
I brought us in.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Thank y'all again for listening to Contagious Smile Unstoppable with my lovely co-host. Yes, co-host.
Where's soulmate? You used to call me your soulmate.
Soulmate co-host.
Better.
Outstanding partner, Victoria. And I'm Michael, the simple redneck, who takes care of all the dogs.
What?
What?
You're the only one that takes care of the
I
dogs.
took care of all 25 of them.
Faith!
Oh, Lord. And with that, we're out, folks.
Faith!
I mean,
your dad said he's the only one that takes care of the dogs.
Click the stop button.
No, I'm not stopping.
Click the stop recording button.
I'm not stopping. Faith! Put it out on the air.
Hurry, click it.
No. Faith!
You're grounded. Stay in there.
Oh, hush. Faith! He says he's the only one who takes care of all the dogs.
No, not full.
That's bull. Because I do, right?
Not all. And not all the time.
Not all the time.
Say hi, everybody.
All at once.
She said hola. All right, good night, y'all. We'll square this away here.